What do kids with helicopter parents look like as adults? Friend of mine has a big time helicopter mom. He has never paid taxes. He's 23, his mom handles everything. Recently he moved from his hometown to Austin so he can attempt to be an adult. His mom moved to Austin less than a week later. But other than that, he's the most depressed guy I know. That's terrible. I wonder why some parents won't see what they are doing to their kids. Kids with helicopter parents tend to become adults with helicopter parents. No boundaries are set so the parents never take a step back. I saw a post on relationship advice from a guy whose mum was a helicopter parent. He was nearly 30 and still lived with her. She used to check his bank account and turn up to his work to make sure he was there. He'd never had a relationship and wanted advice on moving to new city and going no contact. Does this help? Detached from said helicopter parent. Not mine, but one of my best friends. I'm amazed she hasn't done drugs the moment she moved out of her mom's place, but she's doing well for herself now and is all good. As a parent, the comments in this post depress the heck out of me. I heard the advice early on that it's my job as a parent to slowly work my way out of the picture. Best parenting advice ever. I love my kids and provide well for them and protect them from calamity. But at 9 and 11 they can cook their own meals, when needed, do their own laundry, go to the park on their own. It's only a block away. They can also meet an adult and look them in the eye and shake their hand. They order for themselves in restaurants. We include them in major family decisions. Their opinions are listened to and respected. They're free to make their own mistakes and do. It's tough. It's brutal. I worry like heck every single time they get on their bike and drive down the driveway. But we prepared them. They wear a helmet and know the rules. Now I got to back the F off. For them. I'd love to have my kids need me forever. But that's what pets are for. Not children. It's your job to slowly work your way out of the picture. Brutal, but that's love. You beat the parenting game. Honestly, just an anxious mess. Every job I've had I've been constantly afraid I'll mess something up and be a disappointment. It's honestly paralyzing. Eventually when I got married I just kind of gave up on having a career and became a housewife. Still constantly anxious I don't measure up, but at least my husband is willing to reassure me. Once you realize people can survive being disappointed and it doesn't really matter in the end, you'll really free yourself. I can answer this. I'm scared of my parents, specifically my dad. I'm the youngest in my family and grew up conditioned to always be a delicate little flower who had to be protected at all costs. As I grew older and by them being particularly strict about what I could or couldn't do, my adult brain registered the couldn't do's as threats to my safety. It's caused me a lot of issues. Here's a list. I have to separate personas around people. When I'm with friends, I swear a lot. I joke around. I deliberately try to pee them off for a laugh. I'm not afraid to admit I enjoy playing video games or watch cartoons. Near my parents, I'm as quiet as a mouse. Even when I do speak near them I don't swear or try anything to bother them. I can't bring myself to update my social media where my parents can see it because I'm frightened they'll come in and tell me I have a bad opinion or I should delete my posts. If something minor is even put up, it gets taken down. As a result of being scared of my dad, I developed a severe anxiety disorder revolving around riding in his car as a passenger. If I'm carsick, he'll be mad, and that happens frequently. I'm getting better at not having a panic attack in his car. Gradually, they are so deluded in seeing me as a delicate little flower that they fail to encourage or acknowledge my real interest in playing video games. Like it's embarrassing to them. I do my best not to bother them by playing my games very discreetly. It's impolite to be loud. I listen to the TV at the lowest volume. I've trained myself to burp by breathing it out through my nose so it's silent. People around me can belch loudly if they wanted. I don't know how to anymore. If I accidentally make any sort of unsavory sound I have to apologize profusely. I'm afraid of the outside world at dark. Even at twilight. I was forbidden from riding a train home at 5 PM to protect me from scary people. But now, I'm always frightened. It makes it difficult to go out in public at night without constantly being on edge. It's made people who are just having fun drinking with friends look like monsters who intend to kill me instead. I'm too anxious to drink because I don't want to disappoint my parents, and all drunk people are dangerous and intend to hurt you. I'm seeing a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and both of them told me my mental health will improve drastically when I move out. They say right now, I am an independent adult, but I'm very much a robot conditioned at a young age to stay safe to the point of never really experiencing the world and learning to make mistakes, so as a result I am always anxious and terrified of disappointing my parents. My best friend grew up with controlling helicopter parents, and there's a lot of things she never learned because they never taught her. My husband and I have been teaching her basic financial literacy because her parents never helped her build credit, never let her have her own bank account, never let her apply for a credit card. They controlled everything, so she had to unlearn a mindset of spending any money you do have on hand ASAP. She also struggled with honesty. In her household, lying was second nature. The best way to get out of any problem was to lie. This caused a lot of problems for her because she would lie to fix things, cover things, and get out of things in her other relationship. That took a long time and a few destroyed relationships to really unlearn. She also struggles with impulse control. She's much better now, but she used to make a lot of bad choices simply because she could. She wouldn't stop to think through if it was a good idea or not. We're in our late 20s and my husband and I have served as a lot of her safety net and support over the years. Her relationship with her parents and herself have gotten way healthier, so now she's living on her own, supporting herself, and making smarter choices, but oof, those early 20s were a rough time. It sounds like she is very lucky to have friends like you who are willing to be that bridge, so that she's not just flung into the world with no help whatsoever. Unwilling, unable to make decisions. I didn't do that because nobody directed me to. Doesn't take a single step without getting specific approval from someone. No problem solving ability whatsoever. Just waits around to be told exactly what to do. Anxiously runs around till someone tells what to do. Welp, at least that's what it like in my case. LOL. I know several graduates of a high-end private preparatory high school who have said that, by age 30, they attended more funerals than weddings for their former classmates because the suicide rate was so high. They all had helicopter parents and took any sort of setback in their lives as a failure because they lacked any sort of coping skills. Reminds me of the movie, Dead Poets Society. One of my cousins had the worst helicopter parents. Her mother took her to school and for the entire year, waited outside the classroom door while class was in session. The next year she volunteered as a teacher's assistant for baby's class. This went on until baby graduated high school and applied for college, out of town. Mom and dad sold their house and bought a new one in the town where baby was going to college. Twice. They did this twice. Baby is a well-adjusted young lady. She's lovely, has a college degree and is in training to become a helicopter pilot. I'm not even kidding. The helicopter baby is becoming a helicopter pilot. The best outcome. My ex has an overly doting mother. He couldn't crisis manage, troubleshoot or handle anything on his own. He also only trusted her advice. I suggested something. He refused. She suggested the same thing and he obliged. He lacked motivation to do better for himself, look for a better job, get our own place, etc. because his mom always took care of him financially. He had no faith in his abilities or talent because he never had the chance to prove to himself he could handle anything. Whoa, I think we had the same ex. It's crazy how often this seems to happen. Anxious, suffocated. Helicopter parents have this unrealistic expectations but refuses to accept that their children are now adults. I'm 23. Last year I rented an apartment near work. I could finally breathe properly, but still I have to text her when I step out of the unit, when I reached the office, when my shift is done and when I finally got home. If I forgot to text, or if my message didn't go through, she won't stop calling me until I answer. The signal in my apartment is poor, so I really have to go outside to get a single bar. One time she kept calling me but I was asleep, and since there's almost no signal then I'm not receiving any of her calls. When I finally went out, that's when my phone rang. She told me she's already on her way to my workplace just because I didn't answer her calls. Now my hand shakes and my heart always drops when I hear a text or call, even if it's not from her. That's how my mother is affecting me. I had one working for me at an architecture firm as an intern. Gave her work that was slightly challenging for someone starting out, where she had to figure some things out on her own. Failed miserably, resorted to giving her red lines to pick up, literally a printout of a drawing with red pen showing what needed to be changed, move this wall over 8 inches, fix this typo, etc. She finished about half of the changes and brought it back done. I went back and told her the way to track her work was to go over the red marks with a highlighter as she finished each change, to make sure she picked it all up. Still brought it back partly done, but with highlights indicating she had done all of it. Couldn't understand why that was a problem. She wasn't dumb, just couldn't fathom that no one would be picking up after her, or that errors in the drawings could cost tens of thousands of dollars in lost time and materials down the line. It all fell into place for me the second day, when she drove up in a new car her parents had bought for her. She had been driving it for a month. I had been thinking of getting a similar car, so I asked her what she thought of it. Was it designed well? Were there any annoying features? All she could tell me was that the brakes were sticky. I kind of gave up on her after that. If she had been inexperienced but wanted to learn and asked questions and made an effort to get things right, I would have put in the effort to teach her. Oh man, I supervised someone like that a while ago. She wasn't stupid, but her quality of work was terrible and full of errors. Nothing we could say was effective in getting her to turn in error-free work. No idea if she had helicopter parents, though. 28 years old with highly abusive helicopter mom. Up until she died 4 years ago my life was an anxious mess. I never had to think for myself as a kid since she was the one always deciding who I got to hang out with or what my future should look like. I slowly started rebelling when I left for college 1,000 kilometers away, but I didn't free myself from her grip until she died. I have absolutely no ambitions. I finished college and studied what she wanted me to, but I have zero interest in my career and could not care less about continuing my education. I'm a doctor, so this should be important, but I just don't care. I am super lazy. I procrastinate a lot. I was used from a young age to have her breathing down my neck making sure I got stuff done. So now that she's gone I see no reason to make the effort. I have a really hard time making decisions. I'll get really anxious and I almost always need someone else to help or validate me. I also get very anxious when I have to turn someone down, tell someone something that's bothering me, or just stand up for myself in general. This has been an issue with my so. This could be because of her abuse and not because of her helicoptering though. I also have a really hard time being okay with disappointing people. My mom would lose her crap if I failed her. She would get really hurtful and sometimes she would resort to physical violence. I will do stuff I don't want to just to avoid feeling I'll let someone down. This is a hard one because not only have I done projects or chores I didn't want to, I have also done sexual things with partners I did not feel comfortable with just to avoid them thinking I am not good enough. Working on this though. Lastly, because my mom was so overbearing, when I finally left for college I realized the best way to get her off my back was to lie. I would lie to her all the time, about my grades, me friends, the people I dated. If I thought that something would bother her just a little bit, I lied. Now I still struggle with this. I lie to my dad, my friends and my so. Not big bad lies like ripping them off or cheating or whatever, but I will find myself continually sugarcoating things, leaving important details out or just right out inventing things. For example, I lost my wallet a few weeks ago because I was goofing around, but I told my so and my dad that I had been robbed just so I didn't have to hear them tell me I should be more careful. I don't even plan on lying. It comes out on its own and then I would look bad if I corrected myself. See, all in all my life is pretty good now. I have a loving so. We just bought an apartment and I have a steady job. But I always look at other people with their own dreams and ambitions and wonder how that must feel. I just float through life with no real goal except getting my paycheck so I can buy something, go out to eat, get a present for my so. Buy something, go out to eat, get a present is an ambition. Ambitions don't have to be big. I give you permission to have small ambitions. For me, ambition has been mostly a learned thing. My small ambitions have slowly gotten bigger as I've built success with the small things. My goal for this year is to adopt a dog, my biggest goal yet. My cousin is a nervous ball of wax. despite an Ivy League undergrad and a law degree from Cardozo that my uncle and aunt paid for and pushed him on for the first 25 years of his life. He makes less money than a Pandora employee. Yep, even as a lawyer he can't get a decent firm associate position because he's a nervous mess. He is deeply closeted and would feel a lot better if he just admitted he was gay and sucked a dong now and then. Instead he's hiding under the guise of Orthodox Judaism and wondering why every religious friend of his is married with 3-5 kids apiece by the time they're 32. He should watch an awesome TV series called Shtisel, about an ultra of this guy with a controlling father who struggles his way to his own choices. It just might, maybe, inspire him to seek some autonomy. Actually anyone should watch it. There's a lot more to it than I described but don't want to spoil things. There were 2 seasons. Meant to be filming 3 now but, you know, sigh. I dated a girl who was an only child and had a helicopter mom. She couldn't make decisions, had to talk to her mom daily, before cell phones, and was pretty much a narcissist. She cheated on me. I guess her mom told her to always look for something better. We talked once about 20 years later on Facebook. She was still single and after about 3 back and forth updates she made some crappy comment about my wife, whom she had never met, so I blocked her immediately. She got married around age 45 I guess because her last name was changed on LinkedIn. What is funny is that her married name is something horrible, like Foka. Poor guy. Her married name is something horrible, like Foka. I met them once. My wife has helicopter parents and I constantly have to argue with them. We are in our mid-30s. When we visit they plan our itinerary to the 15-minute block. Stopping for lunch as a family is not allowed unless previously approved. They have tentacles that reach out though churches to check on us. When my daughter was born a stranger to us came up to us in a restaurant, picked up our newborn and walked away with her. I had to chase her down. She told me my wife's mother had told her to do so. She was over 1,000 miles away. We attended their church once. Again, we are in NC and they were in Maine. A strange family came up and questioned why my wife uses a breast pump and told her it makes her less of a mother. There is no way they could have known without someone telling them. My wife's siblings are all struggling. Can't do anything for themselves. I own their cars and they make payments to me. I pay for their car insurance. During one medical emergency while I was at work the parents called their friends at church to go get my daughter and no one called me. When I finally heard from my wife we didn't know where my child was. Grandma had control. Sounds like you should have pressed charges. That was kidnapping. I dated a guy like this. I was 49 years old. He was 57. He resented his parents. Always complained about them. He could not make decisions, so never made one. It was up to me to make all the dating plans. He was helpless in that he had no life skills. He was laid off from his mechanical engineering job and could no longer afford rent. So I took pity on him and let him move in with me. He could not cook or clean and expected me to do all that work for him. Even after all that, he started resenting me, probably because he was so dependent on me. I kicked him out and he's now living with his parents. That was 4 years ago and he's still there, still resenting them. Child free and an absolute freak up and failure. Still trying to make up for lost time of my adolescence and I'm almost 30. I'd rather be dead some days. Thanks for asking. Bruh, same. I think I might want kids someday, but I'm so worried that I'll mess them up the same way that my parents messed up my brother and me. I'm almost 30 and I still feel like a scared little kid. Frick. Had a helicopter mom. I moved away for college. I had a tear off calendar that I made for the last 6 months before college. Safe to say college was amazing. Drank like a fish. Did lots of drugs. Almost didn't make it through college. Anyways somehow made it through residency so my mom got what she wanted in the end I guess. But this was also my own choice because I love medicine. I've interviewed them for work. I will not likely ever hire one. When they ask for their parents to join the interview, yes they do that. I know a couple things. First, they will not have any idea what confidential means for our corporate info. Mom and dad will get it all including client information. Second, they will not be reliable to do anything at all on their own. They will have to be walked through everything. In short, they tend to be extremely unhireable for the roles I interview them for. The technical term is disasters I think. They are often utterly incompetent at life, both personally and professionally. Adults with helicopter parents. Know a few. They moved away to college and parents followed and moved where they moved and had them move in with them. Mid-20s and parents run their lives same as when they were teenagers. Looks in mirror. Pretty dang sexy if I do say so myself. JK. All that middle school and high school awkward, it's worse in college. When I was 18 I just left. They didn't have legal guardianship. They couldn't say crap. Things were rocky for a couple of years but so worth the freedom. As I got married and had kids they tried to be controlling over them and my spouse and I set extremely firm boundaries and made it clear that they would never see any of us again if they played that game with me. I was about 2 seconds away from filing a restraining order when they finally got the message. Unfortunately, I have to use their tactics against them and threaten extreme things in order to get them out of our personal lives. The one thing I took away from all of that is with people like that, you have to be willing to fight and accept that you may very well have to cut them completely out of your life. Here's a tip. You have to train your helicopter mom. Mine wasn't anywhere near as bad as some of these posts. She's a pretty good mom, but she called all the time in college. Like every day. Ultimately, I jokingly said the opposite of what she wanted to hear. Mom, what are doing? Me nothing. Is $100 a decent price for an 8-ball of coke? Mom, what are doing? Me nothing. Is viral meningitis super contagious? Mom, what are doing? Me just drugs. She knew I was joking but eventually, she called less because I wasn't giving her the feedback she wanted. My sisters didn't do this. They still get called every day. Kids with helicopter parents can grow to become jaded because of so many missed opportunities. Granted, some things they may have missed out or may have very well saved their lives but there is still that regret. It's important to create some distance as you grow up if you find yourself under this type of roof, not simply to get away from your parents but to grow as a person. You'll get older and your parents won't always be there to make every decision for you. It is important to learn how to steer the rudder under normal circumstances because it does not take a lot of time before the tides change. My cousin works as a HR person, so she is responsible for much of the first interviews for new hires. More than a few times people will bring a parent with them for the interview. We are not talking about teens, we are talking about fully grown individuals attempting to get a full-time career. It's kinda sad. This happened to me. Mum stays in the lobby while a 25-year-old child interviews. I once had a parent call me to lobby on behalf of their child. I did not hire them. Hello, helicopter parent child here. I kinda went wild when I got away from them. Not completely off the shoots doing drugs party every night wild, but I go to a lot of parties, smoke pot, it's legal here, and skateboard. All things my parents wouldn't let me do. I have read it now, which I couldn't even think of getting back in the day. It's probably not wild to your standards, but to me I would be grounded for the rest of my life if my parents knew about this stuff. I guess I do it to catch up on all the stuff I couldn't do when I was younger. I feel free, my mans. Still trying to get my kid to step up. We hover, but encourage him to go out and do dumb things, cause that's the only way you learn how to manage dumb things. He's 18. Hey, can I go out with my friends? You are 18, a high school graduate and have a full-time job. Why are you asking me? Don't forget to take your meds and remember that if you stay out too late you'll pay for it tomorrow. Have fun. This isn't helicopter. This is healthy parenting, encouraging them to make mistakes and learn from those themselves. Helipads. Parents just continue to use them if the child didn't cut them off. Worst case scenario, they live with their parents and are unemployed. Their looks are predominated by indecisiveness, a slighter thinner or bigger build, and usually with a hobby that seems inexpensive at first, but gradually becomes unbearable. They also end relationships and friendships based on their parents' decisions. If they had cut off their parents, then they are almost a normal adult almost because their parents keep pestering their life every day till they die. But what is beautiful about them is that they will usually never do what their parents did. It never stops. You can never truly feel free or independent. Even when you are making close to 800 or 1000 a week, are successful, have your own things going on etc. It never stops. There's always this weird thing. I am not sure if it's overprotective, it's just odd. Failure to launch syndrome is something I mainly work with in my clients as a therapist. Lots of avoidance of conflict, not able to do basic life skills, executive functioning defects, and parents still overly involved in their lives well into adulthood. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.